Jason is the worst. I hate him. He sucks. Basically, Raging Pace sucks. The only time a Jason player is good is when the person that's using Jason has a milestone 4, and the only good ability that Jason has is Gashing Wound, or no, actually just Gashing Wound. M1 is only good for like uh nothing actually. I feel like it's kind of easy to get stunned. I personally hate Jason because I suck at him, and I don't feel like learning how to play as Jason, because Jason is boring. Jason is a boring character. Jason is a boring man. I hope Jason genuinely gets deleted. Jason sucks. Yeah, he needs to be deleted now. He needs to be deleted now.
Hi, I'm Master Doc. SBK finally gave me a cameo for one of his videos, so I'm here to help him out. I've reached milestone 4 with Jason. Not saying that's like a flex or anything, but I just wanted to get that out there so you can understand that I've spent enough time on the character to get a general idea on how it works. Functionally, Jason is a close range killer who works best when going after single targets. I like to clear lobbies as Jason by going after supports, and then sentinels, and finally killing survivalists last. There are millions of different strategies that you can use, but as stated before in the video, probably all of them can be countered with a moderately competent team. I'm not here to beat a dead horse by telling you how cooked Jason is, but I want to shine a light on his flaws. Jason struggles to catch up to any survivor, whether it's mid-chase or during LMS. His max stamina is the same as any other killer's, 110, but despite this, his running speed is too low to make up for his close combat playstyle. If he gets within proximity of a player, his stamina management has to be impeccable to keep up with him. A misuse of any of his special abilities, which is like Gashing Wound, Behead, Raging Pace, punish him greatly, and his distance from the player will dramatically increase. In essence, this is actually a great idea. A well-executed, high-risk, high-reward killer could spice up the meta. Sadly, Jason is not well-executed nor high-reward. Even if you land your attack on your opponent, the only one doing significant damage is Gashing Wound. The others are just attacks that chip away at the survivor's health, like any other killer. To get a damage bonus, you would need to use an attack with Raging Pace. The problem is that Raging Pace is so pathetically weak that the target could escape the attack range easily. To fix this, I would scrap Raging Pace entirely. Instead, I would implement a dash attack. It could move Jason 33 studs in total, and it would be completely multi-directional, unlike Walk Speed Override or Void Rush. That means you can't just get juked out by a survivor moving a few studs, but skilled players can come up with interesting maneuvers to avoid damage. This makes Jason less predictable, alongside allowing him to catch up to survivors after missing a risky attack. Considering how much distance he gets from the attack, it will only deal 10 to 15 damage, inflicting bleeding of course, with the benefit of not having a wind down animation, also known as end lag, if the attack doesn't land. So Jason can spring right back into action if he doesn't directly damage a survivor from the attack. If you time the dash right, you might even be able to get out of being looped. To give it some resemblance to Raging Pace though, it's going to highlight the player who gets hit by the attack for 4 seconds. Anyway, that wraps up my segment. Back to you, SPK.
Hi, I'm Kit. I have around 18 days on the game, and my ratio of time to wins is not as good in my opinion. I think I have like 500 killer wins and like 1500 survivor wins, which is not that good for 18 days playtime. However, what was it? However, SBK has brought me here because he wants me to talk about Jason, I think, and how I feel about him. So, in my opinion, and what I'm thinking about, like, how I think about Jason, in my opinion, I feel like Jason's more in, like, this state of, like, where I don't think he is... he's in a state where I wouldn't consider him that good. Like, he struggles in chase a lot because of his movement speed being very similar to a regular player's, and the idea of most of his moves that are supposedly supposed to help with breaking the chase, like Raging Pace or Behead, have kind of a punish to them. Like, Raging Pace maxes your stamina at 70, and Behead gives you slowness, which, while in theory I guess it could work, it's like a punish for trying to get a bunch of distance, but I feel like at sometimes it feels less like a double-edged sword like it should be, and more like a single-edged sword that's just stabbing you in the back 50 times in a row. And I guess, I mean, with the maneuvers that you can play as Jason, I guess it lets you play more strategically, and kinda, I feel like it renders Behead in specific not that good in chase and only good as a finisher move. And it renders Raging Pace nearly useless throughout the round. You would only need it to regain stamina at that point. It's like, what's the point of that? Now, in another standpoint, I think Jason's good for jumping. Jumping, what I mean by jumping, is that, like, sneaking up on a player and hitting, like, a move that does a lot of damage. So, for example, say a player's doing a gen, you can Raging Pace from afar, walk up to him, gash him. That's if they don't have a brain. You could just walk up and gash him, like, regularly. But if they do that, if you do that, you're gonna have a lot better of a time getting big damage waves throughout, if you know what I mean. Now, I do want to talk about Jason's mute passive. I feel like Jason's mute passive does enforce that whole entire, like, jumping strategy of sneaking up on players, doing a ton of damage, and then leaving. Which, I mean, the mute passive lowers his range of, like, his, like, what is it called? Like, danger range? No, it's, like, layers, chase layers, whatever. But it kind of lowers that by a degree, and I think that, again, enforces the whole idea of sneaking up on players. And I think while that's pretty neat, I think it makes it a bit more, hold on, threat level 6.7. I just DM'd SBK. SBK, I hope you liked my DM. Threat level 6.7.
You stupid.
So, basically, if there's a competent player, if there was a competent player, I think that Jason will struggle a bit, because the competent player can also notice when he's sneaking up, even with the mute passive, which kind of renders the mute passive kind of useless. I feel like he'll just struggle a lot more, definitely especially in chase, because if you're getting looped by a player who knows how to loop, it's like, fuck, man, what do I do here? I'm not as fast as him. Why is he so fast? Why does he have so much stamina? Why does he have so much? I mean, I guess there are ways you could win, you could get a stamina advantage, including regaining stamina before you start the loop, or something else like that. But even so, I feel like if you're going against, like, a character like Noob or something, or, like, 2-time, I could see you struggling. And compare Jason to 1x, you're gonna see the difference. Now, here's the thing. I'm not a balance prophet. I'm not, like, I don't go around spreading balancing changes like I have the word of God. I'm not a genius when it comes to this, and I'm not good at balancing. I mostly trust whatever Kaiser does, and if he does something I don't like, I'm sure he'll fix it. Like how unbalanced 1x is right now, how unbalanced 2-time is right now. So, yeah. Again, don't take anything I say as fact. SPK, you're fat. SPK, you're fat. SPK, you're fat. SPK, you're fat.
Alright, kid, that's enough. Time for the next guy.
Alright, here's my talk over on why Jason is the worst killer in the game and will probably stay the worst killer forever. Well, maybe not forever, but it sure feels like it. Starting with Jason's one strength. The only thing Jason has going for him is that his average 1v1 is short. If the survivor plays average, he can kill in about a minute 10. If they throw, maybe 50 seconds. That sounds decent, right? Problem is, all you have to do as survivor is not get M1'd or not eat a Raging Pace. Once you take that first hit, it's basically over unless you have a stun or an escape ability. Now, the second point, why this falls apart in competitive play. In comp, survivors communicate, they chain saves, and Jason just crumbles. Noob can slate skin and body block, 07 can throw clones to waste Jason's time. Even if Jason plays patient, you're not only facing Noob and 07, which are survivalists, you're also facing Shaletsky, who can reset your chase instantly, Guest, who can shove you or react to your behead. If he's on low health, that's a really good thing. And Chance, who can stun you if you don't react basically instantly. There's multiple consistent stuns and resets in rotation. Mistakes barely matter because teammates can always bail each other out. So for the third point, supports completely break Jason. Elliot, instant heal on anyone, doubling chase time of basically anyone he heals. If you target him, he just speed 3s away and does it again. Discar, shields and overheal, removes Gashing Wound's utility. Builderman hard counters Jason entirely. If Builderman exists, Jason just doesn't. And Taff, not a huge threat, but still slows you down if you slip. So for my fourth point, the reality of team sizes. On an 8v1 team with maybe Shidletsky, Guest, 2-time, Chance, Elliot, Duskar, Builderman, and Taff, Jason has no chance. On 7 and 6v1, it's the same story. On 5v1, still no shot. Builderman plus Elliot. If you put that on the 5v1 team, Elliot can just keep the team alive forever, and Builderman can slow. On the 4v1, maybe, if Elliot has to choose between 2 injured survivors, you might pressure him, but Builderman still ruins you. And on the 3v1, Jason starts having a real chance. On 2v1, Jason can win if it's not a perfect combo like Elliot plus Shed. And even if it's Elliot plus Shed, he still has a good chance. So to conclude, Jason's viability basically starts at 3v1 and below. In a full team play, he's dead in the water. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.